why I'm punching the screen while I listen to that intro. But hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. Episode who fucking knows at this point? I lost track of one.
Too many.
Who knows? 100 something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
we're trying to finally get caught up on things.
Yes, we have been very behind. We've just been very busy with stuff. She's been working a lot. I've been working a lot. We're trying to prep for season 2 of Applause, which is definitely coming very soon. We're not going to say when, but it is coming soon. So there's that. We've slowly been trying to catch up on all of our shows, and we just haven't really had the time. And so the podcast is just something that we just have not had any fucking time to do until literally right this second. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 podcasts in a row here. I don't know if they're all going to be uploaded at the same time, but they will be uploaded 3 times in a row. This time around, focusing on the last 2 episodes of Claim to Fame. I know this happened forever ago, but we just have not had time to talk about it until now. But as always, I am here with my lovely and beautiful co-host, Allie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I saw the movie Pearl tonight, and I saw Don't Worry Darling yesterday. Really fun. And I got a couple I also got a couple new books because I'm trying to get back into reading more this fall and winter and everything. And yeah. And I've just had a lot of work lately, like you said. And so it's been nice having some days off.
Yeah, finally, right?
Since I got back from New York, I think I had 1 day off besides this week.
Literally, you've had no time.
I know.
So, yeah. With that said, though, let's get into these last 2 episodes because I think it's pretty safe to say that we've really been liking this show a lot. I think it's one of the few new reality shows to come out that actually had a really interesting concept and delivered on it. You had a really great cast here. I was really just hoping these last 2 episodes would deliver. But Allie, what was your anticipation heading into these last 2 episodes?
I honestly had a feeling it'd be a very strong finale and everything, just because this show, it just has such a strong cast and everyone was pretty likable. I didn't really dislike anybody. And it was just such a fun show, and it was literally so good, and it's honestly became one of my new favorites, and it's just such a unique concept.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very unique concept, and I think these last 2 episodes definitely did deliver. This was definitely a really strong finale. I really like what they ended up doing. I will say, I think the choice to have both of these episodes happen literally back to back kind of lost some of the momentum. Because I think if we had that week just to predict what's going to happen, it would have been a little bit more interesting, but I don't think too much was lost because I still think we had a really exciting outcome. But either way, we're just going to get right into it. So basically, starting off with episode 9, we see Logan noticed during the challenge that Lawrence Fishburne had a star, and he's basically thrown it out at this point, but is unsure who LC could be related to, and he's really starting to run out of time here. And this is something we see recurring throughout both of these episodes, is that though LC and Logan have been this duo of sorts, they're realizing, oh, we need to start really figuring out each other, because we could be in a scenario where it could be one of our asses on the line, and we might have to just pick each other. And I thought this was smart of Logan and LC to recognize that we can't just keep playing the game together. We have to play for ourselves. And I think it was good that both of them were starting to figure it out, even though they both were very much struggling in these 2 episodes.
I know. They were oh, what should we do? Should we take each other? Should we cut each other?
Well, not really with that. I'm talking more about struggling with who they are.
Well,
who they're related to.
That too.
Yeah. So he talks with Lark. They try to figure it out together. She's convinced that it's an actor and should stick with that. And she's very proud she made the top 4, but knows she has to forgive LC if she wants to make it farther within this game, which you can see is very hard for Lark. I think the one thing that sticks out to me about Lark from the rest of this final 3 is she is the person that seems to be taking things the most personally. Yes, she is playing the game, but she's not nearly as cutthroat as some of these other people. She's a lot more focused on just the social aspect and things like that. And with a game like this, everyone's expendable. I feel that's really how you need to play this game. Everyone can be expendable to you. It really is just a matter of who do you trust enough to where they're not going to try to expose your identity, but also somebody that maybe you don't need to necessarily expose as well. I think that kind of plays a big role in this game. And I think that's kind of differentiates it from other social strategy games out there. It's not really about like, who do I vibe with? Who can I trust? It's more about who incentivizes me to get farther. And I feel like that worked out so well for like Elsie and Logan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So Elsie feels that she's a very trustworthy person and a very good friend, and seeing how hurt Lark is bothering her, but she's also wondering if she's just playing into her emotions a bit, knowing how sensitive that she is. So they talk things over. Lark tells her how alone she feels, but it is at a point in the game where if she has no one on her side, it could also go terribly wrong. So Elsie knows despite how much she feels bad, she has to be her next target as she needs Pepper around to help figure out Logan. And I thought this was smart of Elsie because let's face it, Lark and Logan are not exactly close in this game. Yes, they've talked here and there, but I would say like in terms of this final four, Lark is closer to Elsie, Pepper is closer with Logan, and Elsie knows that Pepper, having been closer with Logan, probably has a lot more info on Logan than Lark would. And I thought it was smart of her to recognize that, yeah, I kind of need Pepper to stay here because I don't know Logan yet. I need to figure him out. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty smart. So Elsie defends her move. Whoa, I did not mean to go down on the chair there.
Oh, no.
But Lark says that while she respects what she did, she's hurt and will probably stay that way. So Logan and Elsie talk about Lark, and they're unsure who she could really be related to at this point. You know, they've kind of gone through everyone. And Elsie's starting to think that it's Cindy Crawford, but feels that it may be a reach. Doesn't even know if she's in the tequila commercial, which I didn't either. Because like I said, I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it for the life of me.
I know.
But Logan feels that Pepper may be the only option here that they have because they are both pretty confident in her being related to Dean Martin. So I thought that's what was going to happen here. I thought this was just going to result in Pepper leaving because they all pretty much like collectively agreed like who she's related to. But we'll get into what actually happens a little bit later. We see Kevin and Frankie talk about the next challenge. They're going to be playing a game board, each column consisting of a different category. And on the title are clues about their category, relatives, some real, some fake. And they will have the correct tiles into each category for each of their opponents. I really like this challenge a lot because it really throws you off very easily. Like you can have facts that you think are concrete, and then they're complete bullshits. And you just won't realize that you'd be fixated on this one clue that isn't even legitimate. I think it's a really good way to, this far in the game, have somebody who is so confident in one person and just throw them off their mark. And suddenly they are back to struggling. Because this really is a game about this really is a guessing game. That really is the kind of game that this is. You're trying to guess who everybody is, and I think this is
literally like it's like guess who.
Yeah, I think this is a good way of like elongating that, you know. So I really like that a lot about this challenge. So they're told that there's going to be no immunity and also no bottom two. Everyone will have one vote, and the winner of the challenge will get the last winner's clue of the season. The only live clue remaining is actually Elsie's. So
I know.
Ultimately, the winner of the challenge receiving the last winner's clue of the season is actually Elsie. So she's not going to get access to the wine room, but has in fact protected her clue. I thought this was really good for Elsie because she is like I've said, I think she, out of everyone, has done the best job of hiding her identity. She has gone along with all of the things, you know, people have said relating to Lawrence Fishburne, relating to Forrest Whitaker. She's gone along with it the entire season, and it's worked for her because nobody has been able to figure out who she actually is.
It's so impressive.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. And I think her deciding to hide her clue is also a really good move because had she not done that, you know, someone like Lark, someone like Pepper could have gone to Logan and be like, all right, this is our time to get Elsie out. So I think it was smart of her to recognize, like, I need to hide this clue here. I'm already doing so well. So I thought that was really good of her. So Pepper is hoping to get closer with Elsie and Logan. convinces them to figure out Lark's relatives so they don't start figuring hers out, which I'm over here like, Pepper, they literally already know who your relative is, so this isn't really going to do much. But I do think that Pepper had the right reads here, recognized that she needs to stick with Logan and LC. My only thing with Pepper, and I think you'll agree me on this, like, she was playing for second, like, in these last
was.
like,
I mean, like, if she, like, the smarter thing would have been to, like,
team up with Lark.
But, like, she was just playing for Logan and LC.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so obvious at this point that Logan and LC are a duo. They have not made it a secret. Pepper pretty much knows that. She's latching onto them, and she's pretty much guaranteeing that she's probably going to end up getting third. So I just thought that Pepper just needed a little bit more fire under her. I didn't really get that sense when it came to Pepper in these last two episodes. It kind of felt like she was okay with one of the two of them winning. So I understand that, like, she wants to stick with them, but she already has been sticking with them. That's the thing. She's like, I need to get closer with them. She already has been close with them. So I didn't think this really changed all that much. So Lark tells LC she got none of her column, 3 of Logan's and 1 of Pepper's, and LC says she only got 2 of Pepper's. She isn't super confident on anyone at the moment, and she has ideas and feels good, but nothing to where she wants to say the names. So Lark says she would be willing to take the risk and do Pepper's, and she feels they are all correct about hers with how much the clues line up to Dean Martin. So she's hoping she gives her a heads up if she's going to be guessed, and Elsie tells her she doesn't plan to keep secrets from her moving forward. So I thought this was a really good talk with Lark, you know.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Especially, like, you know, hypothetically, if Lark is still in the game, she's not going to try to expose LC. She has another target in mind. She wants to go for Pepper. I thought this was really good that LC was able to mend fence with her, because I'm not going to lie, I was worried for LC coming into this. I was like, I don't know if LC is going to be able to get herself out of this one with her kind of being.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough one.
She got out of it real smoothly. Pretty much from here, like, Lark is not targeting LC in any way, and I thought that was, again, just another really brilliant play by her.
Oh, definitely. Fantastic. Pepper and Logan talk, and she says she feels good because while she didn't get all of Lark's column, one of the answers she did get solidified who she thinks she's related to. And with one of the rumors to have dated being Drake, she feels it lines up to Martha Stewart.
Which I was just like, are we really still doing this? Like, I thought the Martha Stewart thing was a joke. Like, I didn't think anybody was actually taking it seriously. I know Logan at first was, but, like, I feel like at this point, Martha Stewart's like a decoy name.
Yeah, literally. It's not like it was supposed to be a joke there.
Yeah.
However, she doesn't think they actually dated, but it was apparently a big rumor. She felt it could have also been Heidi Klum, but there wasn't a connection with the clues presented. Logan knows he wants to take LC to Final 2, but they need to figure out who the third person to take with them, and he feels more confident with Pepper, but needs to be 100% on Lark.
Yeah, I think this was definitely smart of Logan to think, like, maybe Pepper's stronger, because, again, I think Pepper just has more trust in Logan than, say, Lark does. It's not that Lark doesn't have trust on Logan, but I think Lark would very easily expose Logan, whereas Pepper would not. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He pulls LC aside while hiding Pepper in his room to keep her from talking to LC while Lark looks for him.
This was so funny to me, the way this whole thing turned out, because you in one room you have
hilarious.
LC, you have Pepper in one room, and then LC's coming in. He's got to make sure that LC and him and Pepper can talk alone. Then you have Lark, like, literally looking for Pepper and, like, knocking on the door at one point. This was just such a funny moment. I love the way this whole thing played out.
Oh, I thought it was so hilarious.
Yeah. And I was hoping that they wouldn't get caught, but I also thought it'd be really funny if they did.
It was comedy gold.
It was.
The 3 of them talk about Lark's relative, and LC isn't agreeing with Pepper's guess, and Logan feels it was a mistake to let Pepper in on this in the first place.
But yeah, I mean, Pepper is just not on the same page with them in terms of the guests here. I do think that was a misplay. I think this is something that LC and Logan should have just, like, kept to themselves, because Pepper is just not doing them any favors with this.
No.
But, I mean, that's been Pepper's thing all season. Like, she hasn't been able to figure out really anybody.
No, not at all. She was definitely just, like, the underdog.
Yeah, like, information that's been presented to her like she's gotten from other people, but she hasn't really been able to do it on her own. And I think we see that being a weakness for her here.
Lark is knocking on the door looking for Pepper, but to no avail.
Yeah, which again I thought was really funny.
Elsie tells them she thinks it's Cindy Crawford, and while she adores Lark, she has mentioned celebrities that have worked with her sister, and she doesn't know what information she may get from the next challenge, which could finally give her the answer to figure her out, and she can't let her get there.
Right, and this was really smart on LC's part, because it's like, because this is something else that I think people have not thought about this season. It's like, it's not only about getting the clues that are presented to you, it's also narrowing it down, thinking about, oh, well, you told me this story, and this story kind of connects to this. I have a similar story with somebody that I know, and they worked with this person. So I thought it was really smart of LC to recognize that, Cindy Crawford might know people who worked with Kiki, and I need to make sure that Lark doesn't get there. So I thought it was again, just really, really good play by LC to recognize that.
Oh, I think so too. It was brilliant. Pepper feels LC has done a great job giving people clues and swaying people to do things, but she isn't sure if she can trust her.
Yeah.
Fair. Lark talks to Pepper and feels she could make a 60% guess on Logan, and Pepper says while she got a lot right on his column, it doesn't help her much with her complete lack of knowledge when it comes to country music. She tells her she is most confident about LC and still is set on the Lawrence Fishburne theory with the bee costume during Fashion Week and a bunch of objects within the clue wall that Amara showed her.
You almost said Amira.
No, I almost said Amara.
Wrong show.
Not Amira. Lark is feeling very nervous that Elsie and Logan will figure out who she is related to, but is hopeful Pepper can guess Elsie.
Yeah.
Logan
Which again, I thought this was something I was happy about. I was like, okay, Lark is teaming up with Pepper, but again, it just felt like Pepper wasn't budging here. Like she was too loyal to Elsie and Logan, and I think that was her mistake.
Oh, definitely. Logan tells Elsie he is confident Pepper will be voted for, and she will guess Lark is Cindy Crawford, and they will be okay, but Elsie seems unsure.
Right.
Lark tells Pepper she is scared of the duo, and while they both done so well, she is very threatened by them with how strong they are, and Pepper assures her if she was picked, she would select Elsie.
All right, so let's get to the guess-off here, where they all feel this is the most serious one yet. Everybody votes for Pepper to be the guesser, including Pepper. Pepper literally votes herself to be the guesser here. Ultimately, Pepper chooses Lark to be the person that she guesses, and she completely just breaks that promise to Lark almost immediately and just guesses Lark and guesses Cindy Crawford. And Lark is out the door after that. Lark is the next person that's eliminated. Again, I thought this was a misplay by Pepper, because if you eliminate one of Logan or LC, you're eliminating one of the strongest players of the game and ensuring that you have a better chance of getting to those final two seats. And I think that's something that Lark recognized. I don't think Pepper recognized that. I think Pepper saw this as, well, Logan and LC I trust more. We've worked more together in the game, but I don't think Claim to Fame is that kind of game. I don't think Claim to Fame is about loyalty. I think Claim to Fame is about strategy and who you feel, is most incentivized to help you to not expose, who do you feel is your best chance of not being exposed? I think that's something that Pepper needed to recognize, and I think Lark was her best chance.
Yeah, this game is more about strategy than social.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the social's there, but I think strategy is really the most important.
It's mostly physical and strategy.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I think a big misplay by Pepper here. Pepper says she trusts LC with her gut. She absolutely saved her. Lark talks about how Cindy Crawford is her aunt, and she's very happy to have her in her life. And she's once again said LC lied to her, but she knows what she had to do to win. So we do end episode 9 here with Lark going. I was not surprised by this outcome. I kind of expected Lark to be the next one to go. I knew it was going to be probably Lark or LC. And I really grew to like Lark a lot. The first couple episodes, I was like, I don't really know about her. She's not really doing much for me. But once we got to, I would say, like episode 3, where she was the person that I believe she was the person that sent X out. From there, I just thought she was a really strong player, and I think she had one of the best like social games of the season. I do think that again, she was a little too invested in some of her relationships, and that kind of got her to. But she always stayed focused on the game, and I do think that Lark very well could have ended up doing well in the end. I think she needed Louise to stick around. I think she needed Pepper to be a little more loyal to her. But I do think overall Lark played a really strong game, and I was impressed by her by the end.
Oh, same. They were really good.
Yeah, so that is how episode 9 ends. We're getting into the finale here, which I really liked this finale a lot.
Me too.
The finale does suffer from a similar problem that the rest of the season has, which really is just these episodes are a little too short. I think if they were on Netflix or something like that, they could expand the length and we'd have a little bit more time to get to see everyone, a little more interactions.
I can see them, like, if it was on Netflix or something, maybe make them like an hour long.
Yeah, like around the length of like The Circle or something like that. Just so we get a little bit more interactions with everyone. I just wish we could have seen that. But I still think this was a really satisfying finale with the way everything wrapped up here.
Yes.
So we're told from the beginning the final 3 has no idea what is about to transpire in the next few hours. And Logan is confident that Elsie doesn't know who he is, and he isn't sure who she is, which again I thought was a really funny sort of dilemma that you have these people who are dead set on taking each other to the final 2. They know they're going to final 2, but yet they have so little knowledge about the other in terms of like who they could possibly be. And I thought that made this like so much more exciting that you don't have one of them who are so confident on who the other is. So it really is like you're kind of unsure who's going to end up winning in the end here, which I liked. So Pepper talks to Elsie, tells her she got all of Logan's column incorrect yesterday. The only clue she has was an American Idol judge, which Elsie feels is Keith Urban. So the eliminated players are back to play the game. So basically, so we think it's Keith Urban here. Then we get to the twist of this finale, which I thought this was interesting. So obviously, there's no jury in Claim to Fame because why would there be a jury in this game? That wouldn't make any fucking sense. But you got to incorporate some kind of like reunion here. You got to incorporate the other players. So basically what they decide to do is the eliminated players are pretty much back to play the game one last time. They've been sequestered in the house. They will be joining the final 3 in the house for the rest of the day. They can spread information, disinformation, or just hang out. I saw some people kind of unsure how to feel about this, but I feel like if this was any other game, I would have a problem with this. I will be honest. If this was Survivor, if this was Big Brother, if they incorporated this in any way, I would say, no, this is horrible. This is influencing the final 3's game. This is influencing their decision. I don't like this one bit because they are telling them information that they are not supposed to know, and that would just be breaking game confidentiality. But in Claim to Fame, there is no game confidentiality. The entire game is like,
about... This is such a whole different game.
Yeah, the entire game is about trying to, figure out those clues, trying to uncover people. And how are you supposed to do that when you're all by yourself? So I thought it honestly made a lot of sense to incorporate these people, kind of, compare notes to what they've learned, see which ways they implement, certain information that they've gotten from other people. I thought this worked really well. I thought it made for a much more exciting finale. What did you think of the other players being incorporated in this?
I thought it was really interesting, actually. It's just very different from other games.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought it was a cool touch, very unique. Because obviously, some people obviously just like kind of were just chilling, didn't really do much. But then there's some people, and there's others who were actually like spreading information and such. But I thought it was really unique because, like, since this game is very different, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. So Yeah, I definitely thought this was pretty cool. Pepper is very nervous because they have eliminated a lot of powerful players, and it's nerve-wracking not knowing what everyone is going to do with information, which, again, that adds another layer to it, which I like. Brittany feels that LC was the puppet master all along. She's trying to figure out how many chess pieces were in her play, which, I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. LC was very much playing everyone. I mean, I think Logan was pretty dominant as well, but I do think LC kind of ran this entire game and made sure all the chess pieces kind of fell in her way. So
definitely.
X feels that Pepper was the cockroach all season who's been able to survive anything. I would say that's correct. I would say although I think that would go more to Louise than Pepper, because let's be honest, like Louise was probably going to go in like many rounds, but because of the fact that Louise kept winning like safeties and things like that, it bought her another round like within the game. So I think that honestly, I would give that more to Louise. I think for like Pepper, I would give her the role more of like I'd say Pepper's more of just the underdog. Like she's the person.
She was the underdog.
Yeah, she was the person that kept sticking around.
I feel like Louise was like a dark horse.
Louise was a dark horse. Louise was also very much a cockroach though in that way where it's like how
I
is
also
she
think
here?
I kind of think Lark was kind of a dark horse too.
Yeah, I would say so. I think people really underestimated Lark. I would agree with that. So the final challenge of the season is all about strategy, risk-taking, and a strong stomach. One by one, the finalists are going to be asked a question. There are two possible responses, truth or dare. A truthful answer earns 2 points, but the answer to those questions do divulge big secrets about their celebrity relatives, and choosing dares are only worth 1 point. And if they don't complete the dare, they're going to get 0 points, and the answer to their question will in fact be revealed. Choosing dares may not win them the challenge, but they will limit how much information they give up about their celebrity relative. The player with the most points automatically is going to be in the final two. This was like a grueling challenge, I thought, because, I mean, one, you have a really tough dilemma here, because if you pick truth, that kind of puts you at risk of just exposing your person.
Definitely.
Dare, I mean, the things that they had to do with Dare was insane. Like, I thought I was watching Fear Factor for a second with how
crazy
ridiculous some of these dares were. But basically, Elsie finally takes the opportunity to reveal her celebrity relative is not a man and picks a lot of revealing truths. And I love how she did this. Just by this one answer, everyone realized, oh my God, we've been wrong on Elsie this entire time. And
once she said all those clues, they're like, okay, now we know who it is.
No, but just this one clue pretty much like makes everyone realize, oh, we were wrong this entire season, and Elsie knew that. Which just I think really plays into just how strong of a game that she played here by going along with the whole Lawrence Fishburne and Forrest Whitaker, sort of theories. It really gave Elsie a chance to really just dominate this entire game, because she had everybody wrapped around their finger and they didn't even realize it. And I think her dropping this one little clue, it just really highlights how incredible of a game she played. So
she was so good.
So conversely, Logan is only choosing dares, which involves...
Okay, I will say this was really funny that he only chose dares.
Well, I thought it made sense for him to choose dares as well. Like, it wasn't... it was funny to watch, but I thought this was also really smart, because he talks about how people don't know, like, his person. So why would he give them any more information that could get them closer to doing so? So I thought Logan played this very smart, where at first it's something like cracking a dozen eggs on your head. Then he had to eat like spicy peppers. He had to eat scorpions at one point. But he doesn't complete the pepper or the scorpion. So he has to answer a question which really doesn't reveal much, as people aren't aware of anything except for Brittany. Brittany's the only person who starts to recognize, I think I know who Logan's person might be.
Yeah.
So after Elsie reveals who Kiki played Nikila and the Bee, everyone pretty much figures it out who she's related to. And we actually find out her and Amara have actually hung out before, which I thought was kind of a cool little reveal.
It was.
I assume we're going to see some meetups between Amara and Elsie post-season.
Probably.
So it comes down to a tie between Pepper and LC, in which they both have to compete in a dare. They have to eat live bugs, which LC successfully completes, wins the final challenge. I have no idea how the fuck she did that. I would not have been able to eat a single one.
I would probably like throw up before I even eat one.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, we're not doing this. But yeah, she did it, and she did it pretty much flawlessly. So that's the challenge. LC does win the final challenge here. What a great win for her.
So good.
Yeah.
Incredible. She is automatically in the final 2 and now has control over the guesser tonight.
Yes.
While she is happy to have so much power, she still doesn't know who Logan is.
Yeah, no, that's the whole dilemma of the episode is who are we?
She is told she can select any of the eliminated players to help her out. Brittany wants to help Logan out since nobody else can figure out who he's related to, and he has been the most loyal to her throughout the game, which was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I completely forgot that like they had that whole like duo of sorts like in the beginning. Kind of seemed like they were gonna run things for a bit, but then Brittany got exposed, and well, so. Brittany was a pretty big character in this episode, though. Like she played a pretty major role, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like if she made it farther, she could have done really well.
I think so too. I think she just played too hard, too fast.
Yeah, but I didn't dislike her or anything.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't end up disliking really anyone this season. So.
Oh, same. I don't hate any of them.
No.
Elsie shares her clue with Brittany, and she recognizes the song, but tells her it's Luke Bryan in an effort to keep Logan safe.
Yeah, this was smart, I thought, what Brittany did. She tried to lead LC down the wrong path, and it made sense, especially with the clues that like she had about like the American Idol judge and things like that. I thought this was like really gonna hurt LC's chances. I was like, oh my god, Brittany might cost LC the win here, and we might hate her for that. But at the same time, like that's kind of brilliant.
It is in a way, yeah.
Because if you have the person that like you want to win the game, you can kind of control their fate here. So I thought that was interesting.
It was. She is conflicted with this information and doesn't know if she is being truthful with how close she was to Logan.
Right. LC is not dumb here. She's recognizing that like this is probably bullshit. Like this is not. There's some fishy going on here.
Mm-hmm. The eliminated players talk a little bit about the eliminated players. And Logan walks in, and they are all in silence. Nearly all of them are bitter at him.
Right, yeah. Logan's very happy that there was no jury in this game because I don't know about you, but I really got the sense that, like, if there's a jury and they're in final 2 and they're answering questions, I think Logan loses unanimously. I think people
I mean, I feel like Brittany would have voted for him.
But I do think Logan burned pretty much everybody in this game, and it hurt them more. And I think the reason why, conversely, LC didn't hurt them as much is because LC had a way of talking to people in a way where you just felt good with her. She always.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like Lark probably would vote for Logan just because she was kind of hurt by LC.
I don't think so. I think Lark.
I don't know. Actually, no. Lark. Actually, no. I think Lark could go either way.
I think by the end, she was back on LC's side. I think she recognized that LC had to play the game, but LC is a genuine friend because that was Lark's whole thing. She just didn't know if her friendship was like genuine, and she recognized that it was. So
yeah.
And I think that's part of what helped LC is that she did create these genuine connections, and it got her far.
He pulls Michael aside and he tells him he respects his game and lets him know how others are feeling, but also wants to let him in on some information.
And we don't get to see what this information was. I was like very excited to see what was going to happen here. I think I know what was probably said, but like this, I really wish we could have gotten to see.
I wish we could have gotten to see that, but like maybe there's
something else that I think we could have gotten to see if it was a longer episode.
I mean, I hope there's some like extra clips on like YouTube or something.
Yeah, maybe like an extra hidden secret scene like Survivor.
That'd be iconic.
Yeah.
Elsie and Pepper talk. She is hoping Elsie picks her to be the guest, and she tells her the only country singer she knows that starts with Jason is Jason Aldean. Sure, if this is correct, though, as Pepper has a history of guessing incorrectly.
Right, which I mean was very smart of LC to recognize because Pepper has been pretty much off her mark in terms of guesses. So,
oh yeah, definitely. The first of 2 guess-offs take place. Elsie has to choose between Logan or Pepper to be the guesser, and she ultimately chooses for Logan to be the guesser. And of course, he guesses Dean Martin and is correct. With that, Pepper is the final person eliminated from Claim to Fame.
and this is what I'm saying. Like, I think if Pepper sticks with Lark and she doesn't, and she actually does pick LC goes out, I think Pepper has a better chance of getting to the end. I don't think Pepper wins, but I do think it gives Pepper a better chance of getting in those final.
I mean,
so
yeah, if Pepper and Logan were the final 2, I think
Logan wins. Like, it's obvious.
Yeah.
But I do think that was a mistake on Pepper's because, well, she was expendable to both of them, and they were just trying to get to 2, and that's what they did. So now we have.
I mean, I'm still proud of her for making it that far, like, because she was always targeted.
I am too, but I think the reason why she made it far, and people said this throughout the season, is because, well, she wasn't good at guessing, and that very much helped her in the game. So
they kept her.
I just think she needed to capitalize on her positioning a little bit more. Like, I think she needed to recognize that, like, yeah, I'm not good at guessing. I'm going to keep playing that up, and I'm also going to make sure that everybody's on my side as a result, and they're going to think that I'm always, like, someone that's not going to be a threat in that way. And I think she did. I just think that she needed to really do what she could here to stick to recognize that, like, both Elsie and Logan are really big threats. We need to get them out. And I think if she did that, I think she probably gets to the end. So
definitely.
Don't think she wins, but
Pepper says she is his granddaughter, and she was his youngest son, and he has been having a "That's Amore" tattoo the entire time she had been in the house, which is right above her butt.
Right, which I thought was really funny. I guess she's been hiding that, like, the whole season.
That was funny. She says this game has upped her confidence level a ton and is very happy to be in the final 3.
Yeah, and I liked Pepper a lot. Like, I'm coming hard on her for the game, but I thought she was a very entertaining presence. I was not expecting her to make it this far. I honestly thought she was going to be, like, one of the first few boots, which, I mean, she would have been if Maxwell didn't do what he did, which is really funny to think about. Like, if Maxwell doesn't,
oh my God.
I wonder what would have happened in the game.
Oh my God, if he stayed, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, because Pepper would have left there, but yeah, no, she survived by the skin of her teeth every single time, and she made it all the way to final 3.
She was definitely a fighter.
Yeah, she was definitely a fighter. I do think there was more that she could have done, but it's more just like a rookie mistake, I think. I do think overall Pepper did play a good game, and I was impressed by her.
Yeah.
So
Elsie then gets to decide who will be the final guesser between her and Logan. And she decides to guess herself. If she correctly guesses Logan's celebrity relative's identity, she will win $100K, and if she's wrong, he will win the money.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was smart of her to recognize that, like, I need to be the one to guess here because she doesn't know the information that Logan has, especially knowing the connection that Brittany has with Logan. I think that's something that, and again, I think that's why I actually think bringing in the other players made this a lot more exciting, because if that doesn't happen, I think she's a little bit more conflicted with her decision. I think this really made it so, yeah, I need to be the one to do this. And if I lose, it's going to be my fault. It's not going to be Logan's fault.
Exactly.
So, I like that she recognized, like, I need to be the one to do this on my own because I don't know what information Logan has now. So.
Logan says this money would be life-changing for him, and he has always sang country music since he was a kid. And winning this money would be a good way to start out moving to a city like Nashville.
So we'll see Logan on the CMAs, I guess. I don't know. But Elsie does guess Logan's claim to fame as Jason Aldean, which we don't love him these days based on recent events. But she does guess him, and she is correct. And with that, Elsie is the first ever winner of claim to fame. And I was so happy about this. Very early on, I said, I think Elsie is somebody who is going to go far in this game. I think she has this winning edit of sorts, and turns out I was very much correct on that, because I think LC played easily the best game out of everyone here. Like I said, the way she was able to fool everyone, but also stay on everyone's good side, and really just kind of control the way the entire game played out.
I will say Elsie and Logan are literally that duo, and they
really are.
They could literally kill it on like Survivor or Big Brother.
Oh yeah, I want to see them on like Amazing Race.
Yes,
I think
they need to go on there.
Yeah, I think when
wait, are we gonna see like Taylor and Elsie and Logan on Amazing Race soon?
I don't know. That'd be interesting. I mean, Taylor would probably be with Joseph. But yeah, no, we honestly, yeah, we need to see that. We need a season of Taylor and Joseph and Elsie and Logan. That would be just like
on the same season. Ugh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. But no, in all seriousness, like I generally do think when we talk about like the best duos in reality TV, I think you'd be hard pressed to find one to not put Logan and LC on that list, because I think these two were just the exact kind of duo we hope to see. These are two people who they had trust in each other, but they were also still both playing the game super hard. They recognized like, yeah, we need to work with each other, but we also need to play our own separate games. Logan was always trying to figure out LC. LC was always trying to figure out Logan. They never could figure out each other up until the very end. And in the end, LC does end up winning the game here. Basically, she says she was able to guess it mainly through the first name revealed at the challenge, and also previous conversations she had with everyone when trying to figure it out, including what Pepper relayed to her, which again, I think this plays into just how great of a connection she made with everybody. She says she feels like a whole new person coming in the house, shy and afraid. She never thought she would win and is proud of making it this far. Logan tells everyone Jason Aldean is his cousin, and he thinks that he would be proud of him. And it's then revealed to everyone that Elsie is related to Keke Palmer. And we find out something interesting here. Apparently, Kevin and Frankie do not know who everybody is related to until literally that night. So they're also guessing along with us. I think that's really cool.
I think so too.
I wonder how, because I wonder how they do casting. Like, do they just like bring these people in and say these
probably
people, I guess they don't tell them who they're related to. I just think that's a really interesting component, because
and I will say like Kevin and Frankie are really good hosts.
Oh, they're really good, but I've never really seen an instance where like the host is also just like in complete disbelief, because like
it's so cool.
Yeah, they were both so shocked as to who Elsie was related to. She says that her real name is L'Oreal Chanel, and they are each other's biggest fans. She also apparently came up with the name Keke herself. She always liked it, so that adds a nice little bow to her story. They all congratulate Elsie on now having her own claim to fame and winning 100K, and this was just a really great finale, I think. Elsie, like I said, I think was the main character of this season. Pretty much everything revolved around her and Logan. I would say
also, like, she was shown a lot, like she was the star.
I would say once Dominique left, like it was just the Logan and LC show from there. And I think it very much played out in a very exciting manner, because you never really knew if they were going to be able to pull off what they did. And yet they did. And I think, Logan doing a great job of getting everybody on his side, but also being this like, strategic, because Logan was very game body this season. I would say he's definitely the more game body one of the two, whereas I feel like LC was the person making these like really genuine connections and doing such a great job that they didn't realize she had everybody wrapped around her finger. And she ends up clinching the win in the end. And I think it was a very deserving win for sure. Overall, I just really enjoyed the show a lot. I think it is very unique from other reality shows we see out there. Everyone's always saying like we need something different, we need a different kind of format, and I think that's what Claim to Fame did give us. I think we got something that yes is similar to Big Brother at points, yes is similar to Survivor, but does enough on its own to where it does feel like its own thing. And I do think moving forward is going to be able to, which thankfully, we did hear Claim to Fame is getting a season 2, which I'm very happy about. That the show is going to go far, because I think there's still so much they can do with this concept.
Oh yeah, I feel like this show can be really successful, and like it's such a strong season 1, and I think like from here on out it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think all you really need to do is just find people who really want to play the game, and you put them in the house, and I think that's really all you need to do here, because all of these people were playing as hard as they possibly could. Even people who I don't think did quite as well. I don't think anybody did not play this game as hard as they possibly could. I think everybody worked really well together. I think everybody really did end up sticking out. We just had a really rock solid cast, and I hope that does continue within the next few seasons, you know, wherever Claim to Fame does go from here. I think my only real complaints with the show is you definitely can feel the cheapness of it. I've seen people say this. You can feel the cheapness of some of the competitions. Some of them feel almost like LRGs at points with how cheap some of them are. And I think that's not really their fault. That's more of a budgetary thing, and I'm sure that they will improve upon it in future seasons. Then my only other real complaint is I just think that the show needed to be a bit longer in some of the episodes. We could really solidify some connections.
I feel like instead of 10, they should do like 13.
Yeah, I would say 13 is probably good for this show. The only thing is like they probably have like non-elimination rounds, but I do actually think non-elimination rounds are good for this show because it gives you a chance to get to see like all the inner bonds. Like, for example, I think a bond like LC and Lark's, we just didn't get to see enough of it.
I know.
When Lark is talking about how she's like really close with LC, when Logan's talking about how close he is with Brittany, we didn't really get to see that flourish. We heard them talk about it, and I just personally enjoy seeing those bonds being made. It's more authentic. It's more exciting.
Yes. I found out some stuff. Apparently, like 3 of the relatives are kind of problematic.
Yeah. There's a bit of a Claim to Fame curse going on.
Yeah,
which is not the greatest. But hopefully these people are not problematic. The people they're related to.
I mean, with Jason Aldean, he's a Republican.
Yeah, Jason Aldean,
and then like his wife, and then he also cheated on his ex-wife with his current one.
Yeah,
and his current wife said a comment recently that wasn't very good.
No, not at all. And she's under fire for that. And then there was also a story I heard about like him wearing like blackface during Halloween one year.
I think I remember that. Yeah. And then there's who else? Brett Favre is kind of problematic too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I heard Brett Favre is kind of under fire right now. And then Tiffany Haddish, I mean, I don't even want to get into it.
No, we don't want to get into that.
It's disgusting what's going on there. Just look it up for yourself. But Tiffany Haddish is very rightfully under fire right now.
Yep. They just need to like stay away from their relatives.
Yeah, that is the one. I do hope that these people stay humbled. I do hope that these people stay the genuine personas that they are, because these just seem like likable characters.
Yeah, those this cast were just all like really nice people, and they weren't even problematic at all.
Yeah, now obviously you can hide a lot within an edit. I'm sure a lot of people will say they're like, oh, they were edited. We didn't really get to see them. But from what we saw, I mean, I didn't really see anyone that was like, you know, this person has really bad energy. This person's really problematic in that way. And then the people I didn't think I was going to like, I didn't think I was going to like Logan at all.
Right.
One of my favorites of the season. Every time.
He honestly seems very genuine, very nice, very funny.
Oh, all his confessionals were top tier. I absolutely adored everything he did, especially the one with the train and like the 2 train tracks and things like that. That one really was great. Yeah, overall, I think this was just a really rock solid first season. I really enjoyed it a lot. It turned out to be considerably better than I expect. I kind of went into this with very low expectations, especially after Beyond the Edge. I thought this was going to disappoint me in the way that did.
Oh my God, Beyond the Edge.
This was way more of what I wanted that to be. This was just a lot more exciting. We had some really fun characters. We had some really great blind sides, a lot of really well done power shifts. It's just what I want to see within a season of reality television. There are those complaints overall, but for the most part, I enjoyed this season immensely, and I am going to give it an A-.
All right, what were you saying?
Huh?
Did you say you gave it an A-?
Yeah.
I was like going back and forth between B+ and A-, but I'm obviously going to give it an A- as well.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about this show before we wrap this up?
Basically just like only like the few things you mentioned and everything, just like improve on a couple things. But I mean, I'm sure like season ones are usually very iffy anyway. So I feel like the next, just like in our org.
Yeah, but I mean, this was like a great first season. Like they
Oh,
started
yeah.
off really strong, I thought.
It was, and like the cast was great, and I feel like and from here on out, it's gonna be a great show.
It's only gonna get better. Like if it's already this good now, like imagine how good it can be in like a couple seasons.
I think so too. It's gonna be iconic, and I cannot
I
wait.
also hope it gains more of an audience because I just feel like not a
Yes.
lot of people have talked about this show, and I hope
know.
that like you know, now that we have that time that we know season 2 is coming out, people people are able to jump on this one a little bit more and recognize like how just refreshing the premises and things like that, and hopefully it compels them in the way that it did us.
It's a very overlooked show.
Very much so. Very much so. I would go as far as say this was, I think, the reality show of the summer. I really do.
Yes. Agreed. I think so too. I loved it.
So yeah, those are pretty much all our thoughts on Claim to Fame. Really enjoyed getting to podcast this. I wish we were a bit more consistent with it than we ended up being, but I'm just glad that we were able
it's because of our busy summer, but at least we caught up on the episodes. Even if we did like, we did 3 to 8 in one episode.
Yeah, I'm just glad that by the end we were able to review the entire season by the end. That's all that matters. But other than that, I think that's all we really need to say. We're gonna plug things now. So
stay tuned for more podcasts coming up. Woo!
So yeah, we have some other things that we're gonna catch up on in a few. Literally, the next 2 videos that we upload are season reviews of shows that both of us watched that we said we were gonna do individual reviews for, but we did not do individual reviews for them. One of them I really wish we did individual reviews for, looking back, but we didn't. And the other we'll talk about. Also, we will be doing a full season retrospective on BB24. BB24 just ended in a truly historic manner, may I say. Truly just...
I never watched the finale yet, but I'm excited to. And also, like, I know what happens just because I was at work that day. I couldn't watch.
A one-of-a-kind season. That's all I will say. We will never get a season like this again. For good ways and bad. Thankfully, more good than bad by the end of it. But it was definitely a roller coaster of a season, and I'm very excited to cover that. We have a different way we're going to cover it that I think will make it so it's not a 4-hour video, because obviously there's a lot to talk about, and I do think I found a way to kind of like condense it into no longer than probably like an hour or so, because it probably is going to realistically be a longer video. I just don't want it to be like super long to the point where people don't watch. So yeah, so we are going to do that. Survivor 43 has started up as well. We're going to have our first podcast of that happening later today. We're very excited for that. We're going to have the amazing Julia Rowe with us. Applause alumni, Julia Rowe. We love her. Always love.
Yeah, we're going to do the first 2 episodes with her.
Yes, always love getting to have her on for her insight and things like that. And other than that, I think that's it. Like I said, speaking of applause, season 2 is going to be starting up soon. So stay on the lookout for all things involving that. But other than that, I think that's it. I think that's all we really do need to plug, Allie. Also, this is not this channel. This is my channel for a second. So obviously fall season has started up, and I am happy to announce that similar to the mid-season, the one we did, Allie and I will be doing a video talking about all the broadcasts fall pilots coming out this fall. I will warn you now, there's not many of them because it's a very, very small window of shows. But the ones we're talking about, we will talk about. It should be quite a time. I enjoy doing those videos, but I always
love doing those. It's so much fun.
I enjoy it, but I also don't, because I have to watch these shows that I don't like most of the time. But anyway, so that's coming up soon. But other than that, guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought of not just these last 2 episodes, but the season overall. We would love to hear your thoughts on all of that. With that, always remember, couples who podcast together, stay together. See you guys later.
Love you guys.
Is it going to end? I don't know why it's not ending.
I think we just click end broadcast.
That's what I'm doing. It's just loading. Like it's going roundy round.
Oh, weird. Oh yeah, I did the
Having
same
trouble
thing.
connecting. Please check your internet connection.
Oh no.
Can you press it?
I did, and it's doing the same thing.
Why is it not ending?
That is so weird.